Recreational marijuana stores are now legal and open for business in the state of Washington, but that hasn't slowed down illegal street sales. Alan Schaffler took a ride with one dealer to see how the black market business actually works.
Meet Ben.
The big Ben Jammin.
Ben Jammin. He agreed to take us for a ride, and what a ride.
So I've been renting cars and so forth to get my deliveries made.
And tonight you got a limo.
And tonight I happen to have a limo.
You're not worried about drawing attention or drawing a crowd at all, are you?
No, he's not worried at all, even though he knows
selling it in the black market is not legal.
We watch as he sells pot on downtown street corners.
5th and Pike in like a couple of minutes.
Door to door in residential neighborhoods.
The client that I just visited bought a substantial amount of the gummies, the edible THC.
In University District parking lots.
1/4 ounce of the rubbleberry.
So you don't think your business is going to go away just because of legalized pot?
No, it's not going to change at all. If anything, it might increase a little bit.
If he's the little guy, this is Seattle's corporate giant of black market marijuana.
All right, have a good day.
Winterlife, with 60 employees working a busy production line and dispatchers taking up to 600 calls a day.
Dozen plus drivers at any given time, probably as many as 16 or so.
They drive their own cars like the pizza guys do?
Yep.
Where do you go in the city? You stay in one area?
Always shifting around.
Employees all take animal names. This is Jackrabbit making his rounds. Customers have to prove they're 21 and have to say they get medical benefits from pot.
The Madanuska sativa. It's actually a variant of ATF. Rather yummy.
Buyers tell us there's no medical card required. The company's slick website says there is, but their advertisement says there's not.
Are we more of an indica or sativa man?
I like the hybrids.
You get any trouble at all from Seattle police?
No, we've had no trouble from Seattle police.
SPD has made it clear selling pot outside the law is a felony. But they make it just as clear they won't investigate these businesses unless there are complaints.
I'm not a scholar nor a lawmaker.
But you are what we used to call a drug dealer.
Secret recipe sour dog, Tahoe OG Kush, I suppose.
You can browse the free weeklies for delivery services, some medical, some just selling weed. You can find Ben on Facebook with his daily menu.
I sold $400 worth of product tonight.
For the small sellers and the big, business is good. 7 figures good, says the boss at Winterlife.
We are definitely a profitable company.
Did you sit down at any point and write out a business plan for this business?
I've been meaning to do that.
Alan Schaffler, Al Jazeera.
And now I have to go and buy some more pot from one of my growers.
Along for a wild ride in Seattle.
Wow. With us now for more on this, let's bring in Pete Holmes. He is the city attorney of Seattle. Pete, good to have you on the program. And I'm trying to put this in context. It's illegal, it's legal, and guy is driving around in a limousine selling pot. Okay. Would it have been unrealistic, trying to find some context here, to expect the illegal trade in marijuana to simply disappear once aspects of its use was decriminalized?
It would be unrealistic, and in fact, no one sponsoring I-502 expected it to disappear overnight.
Right. Okay, so you say the legislation, 502, needs to reconcile with the needs of people genuinely suffering, and we're talking about people with glaucoma, epilepsy, and some painful terminal illness. What needs to be done to move along the reconciliation process?
I-502 was never meant to exclude medical users, but it was intended to supply what we believe is the majority of really recreational use. And now that we have a system that's only starting, remember in Seattle, we only have one store that's open. And so there is nowhere near the legal supply necessary to meet demand. But for those medical patients during this transition period, we are concerned that bona fide patients, those genuinely suffering, have access to their medicine even after the state legislature acts to reconcile medical and recreational.
And Pete, why just one store? Is it just a process thing? Is it just working through the bureaucracy? What's the story there?
It's probably all of the above.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the Liquor Control Board wisely chose to make sure they get it right, to open stores and processors gradually and make sure that the system was working well before they go to a full-bore, full-supply system. And we hope to avoid some of the problems that we've observed in Colorado, which basically flipped a switch and all of these medical stores were suddenly recreational.
When our reporter, Alan Schaffler, rode along with the one particular dealer, he noticed a pretty stable, kind of organized operation. The reality is that they're still operating illegally. Do you consider these people dangerous?
Danger is a tough concept. We do believe that there are some facilities operating where we've seen higher incidents of 911 calls, service calls. For the most part, where they are storefront operations, they tend to be more of a nuisance. And we are concerned, and until the state acts, these businesses, we're ramping up more and more requirements that they comply with city zoning laws and business requirements. In the meantime,
you were saying?
I just want to say that, yeah, in the meantime, I think that I-502 has yet, I think everyone would agree, to have an opportunity with a fully functioning system to put market tools at work. And so the gentleman that you've seen with the delivery service, these storefronts that are still going on, when they have to contend with a fully operational legal system, without any police intervention, I think that you'll see that market forces will be much more powerful.
Gotcha.
That law-abiding citizens would much rather go buy from a store where you know where the pot was grown, you know that it's clean, you know it's not contaminated, you know that it's been produced under a regulated system entirely in the state of Washington.
Pete, appreciate it. And Pete Holmes, he is the city attorney for Seattle. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.